This book is called No Roses for Harry. So first of all, who do you guys think Harry is? You think he's the dog? I think that's a pretty good guess. Let's find out. Harry was a white dog with black spots. And on his birthday, he got a present from Grandma. It was a woolen sweater with roses on it. Harry didn't like it the moment he saw it. He didn't like the roses. When he tried it on, he felt cozy and snug. Now, if you feel cozy or snug, is that a good thing? Yeah, it's a good feeling, right? So he likes the way the sweater feels. But what didn't he like about it? Exactly, the roses. He doesn't like the way it looks. But he still didn't like those roses. He thought it was the silliest sweater he'd ever seen. The next day, when Harry went downtown with the children, he wore his new sweater. Now, how does Harry look in that picture? Yeah, I don't think he looks very happy, does he? He looks pretty upset. When people saw it, they laughed. When dogs saw it, they barked. Harry made up his mind then and there to lose Grandma's present. Now, is that a very good thing for Harry to do? If you get something that you don't like, is it polite to lose it? I don't think so either. When they went into a big store to shop, the children took off his sweater and left him to carry it. This was just what Harry wanted. What do you think he's going to try and do with the sweater? Okay, you think he's going to hide it? Think he's going to try and lose it? I think he might. Let's see what happens. First, he tried to lose it in the pet department. Can you see the sweater? Yeah, look, it's right there on the table next to some other doggy sweaters. But a man found it and gave it back. Then he tried to lose it in the grocery department. Now, grocery, that's a pretty big word. What's another word for groceries? Do you see what they have here? Yeah, food, right. So groceries is another word for food. When you go grocery shopping, you're going food shopping. So he tried to lose it in the food section this time. But a lady found it and gave it back. Then he tried to lose it in the flower department. Do you see it? Oh, yeah, you're right. Look. Yeah, the little boy saw it this time. What do you think is going to happen? You think he's going to give it back? Okay. But a little boy found it and gave it back. The children didn't let Harry carry it anymore. They made him wear it, and as they started home, Harry was beginning to think he'd never lose it. When he got home, his friends were waiting to play with him, but Harry didn't feel like playing, so they left him alone. Why didn't he feel like playing? Yeah, I think because of the sweater. He doesn't like it. As he sat there, wondering what to do, Harry noticed a loose stitch in his sweater. Look close at the picture there. Can you tell what a stitch is? Okay, yeah, I see a little piece of the sweater there. You know, sometimes our clothings get little pieces that come loose. Well, that's what Harry found right there. That's a stitch. He pulled at the wool just a little bit at first, and then a bit more, and then a little bit more. Harry didn't know it, but a bird was watching. Do you see the bird? Yeah, he's right up there, look. What do you think the bird's going to do? Well, I don't know. Then let's find out. So Harry's starting to pull at his sweater. The bird's watching. In a minute, Harry had pulled out quite a long piece of the wool. Do you see it there? Oh my goodness. The end of it lay on the grass behind him. Suddenly, a bird flew down. Quick as a flash, she took the end of the wool in her beak and flew away with it. Well, it all happened before Harry could even blink. Well, what's the bird going to do with the sweater? It's going to pull on it. Yeah, you're right. Oh, you think it's going to keep pulling the sweater? Do you think Harry's happy about this? I think he might be. He doesn't like that sweater. Let's find out. The sweater began to disappear right before Harry's eyes. First one leg, and then the neck, and then the other leg, and then the back, and finally the whole thing was just one long piece of wool flying off into the sky. The sweater was gone. Harry could hardly believe it. How do you think Harry feels? I think he's pretty happy. I think he's happy about this. He barked and jumped with joy. Then he ran out of the yard. He ran down the street barking, "Thank you, thank you," to the bird over and over again. Well, why is Harry saying thank you to the bird? He's happy. Yeah, no, I agree with that. Okay, so Harry's happy with the bird because it took away the sweater. That's why he's saying thank you. I think you're right. The bird and the wool were just a tiny speck in the sky, but Harry kept following them. So when we say the word speck, it's a tiny speck in the sky. Look at how small that is. A speck is just something very tiny. So when we say a tiny speck in the sky, it means just a tiny something. Harry came home thirsty and tired. And he was having a drink in the kitchen when the children ran in. How do the children look? Yeah, they look pretty happy. What's in the boy's hand? Can you see what that is? A note. Yeah, it looks like something written. "We got a letter from Grandma," one of them said. "She's coming to visit us," shouted the other. Harry thought of his sweater, and his tail, drooped. Now, if a dog's tail is drooping, do you think the dog feels happy? No? You think it feels sad? I think you're right. I think Harry feels sad. Before Grandma came, the family looked everywhere for the sweater. They wanted to see how nice Harry looked in it. Of course, they couldn't find it. Only Harry knew why. When Grandma arrived, Harry ran to her with his leash, and then he sat up and begged. "All right, Harry," said Grandma. "After I've had my lunch and a nap, we'll go for a walk." That afternoon, Harry and Grandma and the children started off on their walk. Harry barked happily and pulled towards the park. Why is Harry going to the park? You think the bird's there? Okay, and what did the bird have? His sweater? You think he wants his sweater back now? Well, why? Why would he want his sweater back? Because Grandma's there. Why? Grandma gave him the sweater. You think he feels bad? Okay. When they got to the park, Harry pulled harder. The children let him off his leash and he ran on ahead. He seemed to be looking for something. And all at once he stopped under a big tree. He looked up and began to bark and wag his tail. Grandma and the children came running. What do you think's up in the tree? It's a good guess. They got to the tree and looked up too, and suddenly one of the children said, "I see a nest." "It's made of wool," said the other. "And it's the very same color as Harry's sweater," they shouted together. "It is Harry's sweater," said Grandma, and just then a bird looked out of the nest. "Look, Grandma, look," shouted the children. "Harry gave his sweater to a bird." "I wonder how he did that?" asked Grandma. The bird sang and Harry wagged his tail even harder. So now everybody's feeling pretty good. At Christmas, Harry got a present from Grandma. It was a new sweater. Harry liked this one very much. When he tried it on, it felt cozy and snug. But best of all, it was white with black spots, just like Harry.